Hi YouTube, this is Bodge in the Woods, getting my resupply bucket ready for my JMT through hike beginning July the 25th, heading southbound from Happy Isles. It's going to take 15 days on the trail, taking my middle son with me. We're really looking forward to it. This is my resupply bucket for the Muir Trail Ranch. We're only doing one resupply. We're in pretty good shape. We feel like we can do 7.5 days with our packs full from Happy Isles, and then resupply for another 7 to 7.5 days from Muir Trail Ranch. We're going to be carrying, I've weighed this out, looks like our food weight is about 10.5 pounds per person for 7 days. So it's a total of about 21 pounds per person for the entire hike. That really averages out for us to, gosh, like 1.4 pounds per day. So really happy with that. Calories, going to be a little bit of a calorie deficit here, but I anticipated that. I don't really eat a lot on the trail typically, and as a result, I kind of keep my calories to what I consider to be a bare minimum for myself, but still giving me enough nourishment to make it, through the trail. I don't want to bonk out and not be able to finish the 220 miles. At any rate, I'm going to throw the bucket out here and show you what it looks like full, and after I finish that, I'm going to pull everything out, let you take a look at it. Then I'm going to repackage it quickly so that you can see that all this stuff that's on the table really does fit in this 5-gallon. I've got a 5-gallon food grade bucket that I bought at Lowe's hardware store. If you don't have those on the West Coast, I guess it's similar to Home Depot. Anyway, give me a second, I'll be right back with you. 5-gallon resupply bucket. This is a food grade. You don't have to buy food grade. I will caution you, Muir Trail Ranch on their website, on their resupply page, does mention that one of the buckets they have problems with cracking more readily are the paint buckets, typically the dark blue ones or even the dark gray ones. For some reason, I guess since they're not as high a quality as these the food grade buckets, they do tend to crack a little more readily, so just be aware of that. This one's about $4 for the bucket and then another $3 for the lid, about $7. I think the paint bucket with the paint lid is around $5 to $6 for the combination, so for me, the $2 or $3 extra was more than worth it, just to get my money's worth and also to make sure that my food was protected. We're talking about 2 people's food for 7 to 7.5 days. Need to make sure it's in good shape. At any rate, I'm going to pull all this out, put it on the table, then I'll be back to show you what our resupply looks like, which will also be very similar to the food that we're going to be taking for the first 7 days. So I'm not really going to give another video on that, but just want you to take a look at the food that we are taking. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to kind of break this down from my left to my right. Again, this is enough food for 2 people, myself and my son. We both weigh about 170 to 175 pounds. We're going to try not to lose more than 12 to 15 pounds per person during our 15 days on the trail. So we're trying to get as many calories as we can while still keeping them compact enough. And also, maybe just as importantly for me, because once I'm on the trail for a long period of time, sometimes I just work myself into a point that I'm so tired I can't get hungry. So I've got to find foods that for me are kind of savory, foods that I enjoy. That's why you're going to see a lot of sweets here and a lot of high calorie, kind of high carb foods that I hope are going to give me enough energy to get up and over the passes and finish the whole 220 miles strongly. So anyway, on the left, beginning at the bottom, these are Kind bars, K-I-N-D. Don't know if you're familiar with these. The Kind bars come in a lot of different flavors. Typically they're a nut and fruit variety. These are maple, glaze, pecan, salted, dark chocolate, cinnamon pecan. 2 of my favorite flavors, and again, those are the kinds that I like to eat because I'll get a lot of calories out of those. Each of those is actually about 200 calories, so very similar to a candy bar, but you got a little more fat in there and a little more protein because of the nuts. On top of that, don't know if you've seen these before. These are actually the Honey Stinger caramel waffles. Honey Stinger makes a lot of energy products for outdoor sports, especially for long distance running and for high impact activities, and also hiking, backpacking, that kind of thing. These are the Honey Stingers waffles. These, in my opinion, are one of the most savory, enjoyable foods that I've had on the trail. I really recommend these. These run about 160 to 180 calories per bar. They only weigh 30 grams or 1 ounce, a little bit over an ounce. Don't weigh much, but they give you a lot of energy, and again, they taste really good. These are caramel waffle. There's, I believe, a honey in there. And then there's a chocolate waffle also. Absolutely delicious. I'd really highly recommend those for those that might be kind of finicky on the trail. Beside those, 2 of my favorite candy bars in the whole world, Zero bars. and Snickers bars. We all know that Snickers is kind of the superfood on the trail. Most of us love Snickers to kind of help us avoid the bonk. The Zero bar for me is almost as good. It almost has as many calories. It's 230 in the Zero compared to 250 in the Snickers, and it's just kind of a nice change of pace for me. So we'll go Zero bars, Snickers bars. These will be our afternoon snacks and our morning snacks. The other portion of our snacks will be, I'll have some hard candy here. These are the Werther's Originals. We both love those. Those are not that many calories, but it's just something to keep in your mouth as you're going along to keep your mouth dry. I'm sorry, from getting dry. These are just the little Russell Stover's individual candies. I don't know if you can see those. I actually bought a bag of those. Those are primarily for our desserts. I'm a sweets kind of guy, so I'm definitely going to have something sweet in the evenings after my evening meal. So that's basically dessert for us. Lunches, for the most part, are going to be peanut butter. These little peanut butter packs, I don't know if you've seen these. They pack a lot better than the little Jif packets. But we're trying to put peanut butter in some other pack, and of course most of you know you can't use powdered peanut butter to use in the field that well because it just doesn't go on that well. But in addition to the peanut butter, we'll have a couple meals with those. We've got a big summer sausage. This is a beef summer sausage. And then we've got some pepperonis as well. So we'll make some tortillas. I've got a pack of tortillas we'll be taking with us. I got the whole wheat variety, a few more calories and more protein, and also I've heard the shelf life on these is a little bit better, so it's going to be in my resupply bucket for about 3.5 weeks. I think those are going to be just fine. But anyway, we'll take the pepperoni. I may get a little bit of cheese. I'm not a cheese eater, but my son loves it, so I may get some cheese to put in our summer sausage and pepperoni tortillas, but I think that'll keep us good for the lunchtime. And again, we're supplementing with all of our bars and our candy bars. And of course, we do have some mixed nuts. I decided not to go with Gore because, frankly, usually when I add, sometimes I'll add peanut butter M&Ms or peanut M&Ms, or I'll add chocolate chips or peanut chips. With all the candy bars that I have, plus the pieces of candy, I think if I added chocolate candy of some sort to this, it would just be so sweet for me during the day that I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. So we're just going with mixed nuts. Again, most nuts are pretty high in protein, pretty high in fat, also give you a lot of energy. I don't typically eat a lot of nuts on the trail because, frankly, they don't sit well with my stomach sometimes. But we're going to take them this time just to make sure we have enough calories. On this row right here, basically all of our breakfasts. And breakfast for us will consist of mostly either granola cereal with powdered milk that we'll add water to. Grits, of course, we're from the South and we love our grits. Grits carry about, in the servings that we have here, about 200 to 220 calories. But I've added to those powdered butter. The powdered butter, if I read it correctly, has like 50 calories for just a teaspoon or a tablespoon. So you add a couple of teaspoons to your grits and you add 100 calories. If you haven't tried the powdered butter, buy it. I bought mine on Amazon. I don't remember how much I paid for it. Probably less than $25, but it has lasted me a long way. I've packaged several meals with it, and it really does add great butter flavor to all these things. I put it in my grits, and also here in the South, we like to put butter and sugar, believe it or not, in our rice. So that'll be another breakfast. And then a couple of mornings, maybe 3 mornings, I've got some dehydrated sausage crumbles that we'll use to throw in there as well. Those are really savory. Those taste really good. That's one of my favorite meats that you can actually buy dehydrated or freeze-dried. Really good. And we'll throw those in our grits or rice to kind of spice those up and add some protein to it. And then finally on the right-hand side are our dinners. We love the Mountain House chicken with rice, and that's at least 3 of our meals are going to be Mountain House chicken with rice because it's one of our favorite meals on the trail. I just take them and, of course, shrink wrap them and keep those in storage. I also dehydrate my own spaghetti. I've tried the Mountain House spaghetti, and I've even tried the Packard Gourmet spaghetti, and I just don't like it as much as my own. But the dehydrated spaghetti that I make, I really, really like, and I want to really encourage you, if you haven't done this, buy a dehydrator, get a little basic book on dehydrating your own backpacking meals, and start dehydrating. You can buy a routine. Mine is a Nesco, N-E-S-C-O dehydrator that I think I bought on Amazon for $65 or so. It comes with 4 trays with the liners. You can make your own jerkies, your own fruit leather, those kinds of things. I use it primarily for dehydrating food, and I really highly recommend it. Don't be afraid to try it. You can dehydrate just about, I won't say just about anything because a lot of meats don't dehydrate or rehydrate well, but vegetables and beans and pastas and those kinds of things dehydrate and rehydrate really well. I really encourage you to try that. It really will spice up your meals and give you a little more variety, and it won't be the same old humdrum, oh gosh, I've got another set of Mountain House meals I've got to eat. Finally, on the back, I've got just some freezer bags full of, this is hot chocolate mix. Really like our hot chocolate. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but I do love hot chocolate, so we'll have hot chocolate probably at least in the mornings, maybe in the mornings and evenings, and then also some packaged Gatorade as well. I may buy individual packets on those. I can't really decide if I want to take the large ones and spoon it into my bottle, or if I want to buy the packets. I may change that, but at any rate, that's pretty much what it looks like. I'm going to pause this for a second again, and oh sorry, let me show you a couple of other things. I did also have some hand sanitizer, and I bought the kind with aloe. Now I'm also going to take along some lotion for our hands just in case, because I know there's a tendency for a lot of people that are out on the trail in higher elevations like that for their fingers to kind of sometimes chafe and crack. So I'm going to take this aloe augmented hand sanitizer, hoping that the aloe will help also. But remember, again, I'm also taking some hand lotion. I'll show that in my gear video. But anyway, that's part of my resupply bucket. Also taking the Gold Bond Friction Defense lotion. This stuff is great. I don't know if you've tried it before. In my opinion, it's better than Body Glide, and it's a little less expensive. It really does prevent chafing, and it helps with healing and everything. I'd really highly recommend that. You can buy that at Walmart for $3 or $4 a bar. It's really good stuff. Of course, got to have the lip balm. This is the Carmex stuff. It's really good stuff. 4 times as expensive as other, but it really works. And it also has some UPF in it as well, UPF protection. Anyway, I'm packaging a couple of those, and we'll be carrying a couple of those with us. Then, of course, the obligatory mini Bic lighters. I won't need nearly this many. I'm sure it's probably taking an extra ½ ounce for no reason, but better safe than sorry. That's kind of my motto. So I've got 2 here. We'll each be carrying 1 mini Bic with us in addition to other fire starting methods. And I've also got a gallon Ziploc bag here. I'll be using this for my extra garbage bag. I'll have another one in my pack as well as another one with my son. I'm also buying a couple of ObSac odor-proof bags that we're going to use as kind of our poop bags or for our toilet paper, and we will take those and probably put those inside one of these to kind of keep the odor down. Most people say the ObSacs work really well at keeping the odor down, so I'm hoping that'll work. And then these are just our handy wipes, or wipes that we're going to use for our toilet paper as well as for cleaning up after doing the business, but also cleaning up after meals and that kind of thing. I've dehydrated these, or actually just left them out in the sun and they dried out. I'll be rehydrating these when I need them, but it really does shave a ton of weight off. I think I shaved off, and this is enough for again, the 7 days in the trail for 2 a day, and I think I shaved off about 4 ounces just by dehydrating this, so I think that was a good idea. Anyway, give me a second, I'll pause this, I'll pack all this back up, and I'll show you what it looks like packed. I think I'll go ahead and show you what I'm doing. I'm actually taking the tortillas. The tortillas are going to go on the bottom. You can probably see that. Then I'm going to start taking all of my dehydrated meals that I've already freeze-dried, and I'm going to put those around the perimeter of the bucket. You can see that. And I'll just line the perimeter of the bucket with those. And really any one of the freeze-dried or packaged ones. And I'm going to keep doing this until I get my whole bottom full of these, because these actually take up less space if you put them end on end as opposed to top and bottom. So I'll just keep stuffing these in here, and you'll notice, if you can see that, there's some small crevices in there. And what I'll do is later, I'll put the resupplied Bic lighters and Carmex, and sometimes you can even get candy bars and things like that down in there. The idea, of course, is to make maximum use of space in the bucket. But see, these packaged right in there on top of each other and just easily fit in there. You'll see how that's going. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. There's no point in boring you with all that. I'll pause it and come back in just a second. Okay, that total time took me about 5 minutes. Takes almost no time to pack that up. I wanted to mention these lids actually come with a kind of a safety tab. and I've already removed the safety tab, but it has a little tab right here. You just snap the tab off and the ring pulls off all the way around. That's supposed to make it, of course, more sealable, but it's really difficult to get those rings off in the wild, and instead of trying to have to bother someone at Muir Trail Ranch to help me get the thing off with a tool or something, I just went ahead and popped it off here with a pair of pliers at home. You can put it on with that, and I'm sure they'll be more than willing to help you get it off, but I didn't want to have to worry with it. Anyway, I'll put the top on and snap it down, and of course Muir Trail Ranch allows you to pre-print your label. They do tell you to make sure you put your label on top, don't put it on the sides of the bucket, because the post office has a tough time processing with that. But anyway, this is ready to go. I'm going to ship it out. They recommend that you ship it out about 3 weeks in advance. We expect to be at Muir Trail Ranch around July the 31st, so I'm going to send it out about July the 6th. That's actually 25 days, but better safe than sorry. Again, I'd like to make sure I'm prepared, but I will be shipping it out on the 6th of July, getting ready for our July the 25th southbound through hike of the John Muir Trail. As always, thanks for watching my videos. Bodge in the woods. Good luck and God bless.